Hi, everybody. I'm Robin Lynn Norris. I'm an actor, writer, and improviser in Chicago. No, I'm not. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm really out of it, you guys. This is going to be.
Is this the normal intro?
No.
The normal intro?
Your heart's in Chicago,
Oh my God.
but physically you're in LA.
That was
Yeah.
ridiculous. All right. Da, 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 da. Hi, Okay. Hi, everyone. Wow, that was really high pitched. We're going to get this. Hi, everyone. I am Robin Lynn Norris. I'm an actor, writer, and improviser based in Los Angeles, and I know everything about Bravo TV.
Hi, I'm Carla Cackowski. I'm a writer and an improviser. I also live in Los Angeles, and I know absolutely nothing about Bravo TV.
Welcome to the Bravo Bubble, a podcast for Bravo-holics.
And they're friends who live outside of the bubble. That's me.
That's you. Oh man, this is going to be an interesting one because it already took me 10 times to do the intro, and that's great. So, welcome everybody. We're very excited today because we have a couple of special guests that we will intro in a second. It's our first podcast with guests. Before we do that though, Carla, it's been a minute. I haven't
Yeah,
seen you for a while. How are you? What's new?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. What's new, Carla? Well, we were in Denver for a week. We drove, took our little pup, did some improv workshops and shows, went to Casa Bonita, which was
Yes.
really fun, which is the just for anybody who doesn't know, it's that um quote unquote terrible restaurant that feels like a poor man's Disneyland. Someone described it as if Chat GPT made Disneyland. And that made me
Amazing.
laugh.
I love it. The
Yeah.
one from South Park, right?
Yeah, the South Park guys took it over a few years ago and invested a lot of money to keep it, moving and
Yeah.
thriving. It was really
Great.
fun. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I don't have a lot new, and honestly, I just want to get our guests in here, and then we can
Oh,
talk about
sure.
what we've
Oh
been doing
no.
together. Because I'm looking
Sorry.
at them. No, I said let's do this alone, and now I'm like, no, I want to hear from them too. So, what's new with me? Nothing. I've just been flying around doing business improv more. So, without further
Uh,
ado, let's talk about the husbands because they are here. They don't
yes.
like this show, I don't think, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out. So we have my husband, Atul Singh. Say hi, Atul.
Hi, I'm in LA.
And that's him. Great.
And then my husband, who is,
Craig Cackowski, also in Los Angeles.
yep.
That's right. Uh,
Both of them are amazing improvisers and actors. Let's say that.
yes, definitely. And they're both very humble. So I feel like Carla and I are going to have to do all the shout outs for them. So, yeah, so Atul or Atul, we say it both ways. What would you prefer today?
Atul.
Atul. Great. This is for our listeners because sometimes I have referred to you as Atul before.
It's the right way, and it's well,
It is the
all Indian people say it. So
It's just that in all the past episodes, I have called you Atul because that's what people in the comedy
mm,
community know you as. So the correct pronunciation, though, is Atul.
mhm.
So there's that. All right. So let's get into it. Carla has been on a crash course of Bravo TV. We've had ups, we've had downs. Our last episode was an up with Love Hotel. We loved it. And yet we have been avoiding Orange County. Maybe there's a reason. I don't know. I, I
Have we been
really,
avoiding it or have we just not gotten to it? It just
we've
feels
just
like, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. We've just not gotten to it. And I have to say, there's 18 seasons. So I did do more watching than I normally do to try to pick an episode. And I got to be honest, I'm second guessing my pick right now. We're going to get into it. I chose
Let's be
season.
honest that you're always second guessing your pick.
That's true. That's true. So I really wanted you to get into a Shannon episode because we had really bonded with Shannon in Love Hotel.
Yes.
So I had one without her and then I switched it. So this
Got it.
is season 10, episode 2, Take a Swing. Let's hear from the husbands first. Atul, you did a recap.
Uh, yes, I did. I mean, I did. I'm just going to recap what I think
Love it.
happened in the order that I think. And Craig, I would just say jump in if you think I missed a detail in any of the sections.
Happy
Um,
to.
so, okay, I think we started with the recap first. They start with the recap telling you the stuff that's happened, and maybe there's a preview in there as well. There's somebody who said there are 3 rules of marrying somebody, and I think it was Megan, but it was like not an athlete, not somebody 11 years older than me,
Yeah.
and third rule. And it wasn't quite specific which one she broke, but I'll say 11 years, maybe athlete. I don't know. Um, it's a whole new ball game.
Which, by the way, Craig is exactly 11 years older than me. Not exactly,
Oh,
11 and some change.
Yeah, maybe 10 and some
10 and
change.
some
no,
change.
so you didn't break the rule.
We didn't break the rule,
Just
and
barely.
I'm no athlete, I'll tell you that much.
You're a crossword athlete.
There
That's
was
true.
also
Elite.
something happened in the recap where maybe somebody ate the bow off a cake, and that was a big deal. But I think it was, oh no, this is the first scene. I think it was Heather Longhair. Longhair went into a restaurant that's like just about cakes, and she wanted to order
Mhm.
another cake, which was led to a flashback about a party with the cake where
Yes.
I think it was her party and she ate the bowl off the cake and then somebody else was upset about it. So I don't know if that's the case or
Yeah.
not. I don't, and I'd love the mystery to stay on.
Yeah. Let's not clarify it, Robin.
Then,
I
Robin's
won't. I want to
shaking
so
her head like that's
badly.
incorrect.
then we went to the
Heather's trying to
newly.
get a custom cake sent to Napa
Oh, I'm sorry. That is very
for a
important.
trip. Yeah. The baker is skeptical about whether she can fly it there. But they can't because they're taking a private plane. They can meet them on the runway with the customized cake.
Yes, that is, yeah. A lot of cake places won't do that. They won't meet you at the tarmac. This is what I've learned. But this one will.
She was all about it. When she found out she could take it there herself, like
Oh.
to the tarmac, she was like, "Oh, this is easy, easy,
Yeah,
easy."
Hmm.
easy. Um, Then then this has got real. There was a couples counseling moment, and so we'll go through that twice. And I don't know if I should get into the details right now or just
This,
briefly recap.
yeah, your summary, and then we'll
Okay.
we'll dive into the details. Yeah.
And then Heather and Tamara, boy, um, don't remember much from that one. Then we went to the Find to do some shopping with Megan, who's trying to put her own spin on the house, which I
Right.
understood. I get that because it's 3 for him, 2 for her, I think.
Yep.
Back to
Yep. She wants to
Shannon.
make it her own as opposed to
Yes,
the previous wives.
yes, yes.
And I didn't
Uh,
realize till after the fact that this was Jim Edmonds, who I do, they mentioned another baseball player and you were like, do you know who that is? And I was like, no, I've never heard of him.
No, not only did you say no, I've never heard of him, but you made it seem like I was insane for asking if you knew who he was because I know Craig's a sports person and I didn't hear baseball. Like they all sound the same to me. And he goes, "Yeah, I like sports, but not baseball."
That's not true. I said I'm less familiar with baseball, particularly anybody who's played in the last 20 years. Like, I'm only going to recognize a handful of names. But Jim Edmonds, I remember, he was a center fielder and a Gold Glover, and I think played for Anaheim, which would make sense, but also St. Louis.
Okay, so based on everything you just said about a baseball player, does it now seem crazy that I asked you if you knew who the other guy was?
It does not seem crazy, and I apologize if I made it seem
Oh man. So
that you were overstepping.
here's the thing, and I'm saying this as a joke. However, housewives shows have a way of getting into marriages, and look at this. Look at this. You know,
Yeah, I mean, Craig was already kind of grumpy watching it, let's be honest. So.
understood.
I wouldn't characterize it that way.
Hmm.
Uh, but if this is your model for behavior, watching these ladies, so like I understand why, you're
Oh.
pushing back.
Gotta
Maybe
guess.
That,
Robin's whole thing has really gotten into my skin, under my
ooh,
skin.
my goodness. Obviously, we're saying this in jest. Yeah, it
No, we're
does
not.
make
We're
me
being
laugh.
very
I
serious.
mean, it is one of the things that Atul and I differ on is these shows.
Please continue.
No,
Continue.
wait. Uh, then okay, that was Megan. Then we briefly checked in with Shannon, and I won't lie, and this might be rude. I get Shannon and Vicky very confused.
A lot of
So
blondes.
A lot of
I say that
blondes.
I say that every time too.
yeah, they're
They all
this is
look
the
the
one.
same.
This is the one oh this is the now they had the family moment. This is the couple that was in the counseling. Now they're home, and they're gonna talk with the kids. Then we go to Eddie and Tamara. Ah, here, first of all, she's wearing a shirt that says "Muscles and Mascara."
Yep.
Maybe that's a brand, and if so, I think they do good on like getting their brand out there. If it is, if it's just a normal brand, then kudos. Uh, I got a hint that maybe Eddie doesn't think Brooks has cancer. All
Hmm.
right.
Mhm.
Then Vicky had the main thing was Vicky
Oh.
had a party. She went to Puerto Vallarta and then she came back and loved it so much she threw a party from the theme of the country that she just went to kind of continue the vacation. So that's where a lot of stuff happened, and we can get into the details of it. Um, and that's where the take a swing. If people are wondering why is this episode called Take a Swing, is because they swing at pinatas. Not when I saw the title of the episode, I definitely thought somebody was going to get hit,
Yes.
but that's not the case. So it's kind of like a misleading title, but good job, it worked because I kept looking for the moment,
You're such a much better person at this than I am because this morning I was looking at it and I was like, take a swing. I don't get
Same.
it. And I just like moved on.
and it was
Same, Carla. And I like know that I watched it twice just now, and I was like, why is it called Take a Swing? Well, good
They're
job.
married to baseball players. They're hitting a
Oh,
piñata. They're all taking a swing at life.
Craig,
yes.
can we agree that maybe you like baseball more than you previously led me to believe?
Freaking love baseball. It's the great American sport. And Jim Edmonds has always been my favorite player.
Oh, wow. Oh, boy. Man, this is fascinating. The husband outside perspective, we're already learning so much more than
Yeah.
I ever knew. I'm too in the bubble.
Yep.
and the way the party concluded. This will be the end. Was the person whose house it was, which is Vicky, uh, had a sit down with Tamara, and they really, I think they got to a place that maybe was already there, but I'm not sure. So, and
Oh
I think that
yeah.
was the conclusion episode, and then we had some future episode stuff about anal.
Yeah. Lots of anal talk.
Is at the dinner?
Oh, that was at the dinner. Sorry. No, one side of the table was talking about how you feeling, and the other side was talking about yes, yes.
One
Anal
side of the
sex.
table is talking about how they go to church at 5 p.m. every Saturday and they just love it. And then they jumped to Tamara talking about anal
Can I
immediately.
tell you, I wrote down a bunch of quotes from Craig, but one that is relevant to this conversation. What did he say? Oh no, I can't find it. Oh yeah, here it is. What percentage of these people do you think voted for Trump more than twice?
Oh,
Twice, just twice.
Oh, twice.
more
But
than
maybe more than
twice.
twice too. Yeah.
Well, he
Opportunities.
ran 3 times, yeah.
Oh no,
So
you're right. You're right.
And I said 70%, calling back the 70% earlier because I'm a
Ah,
callbacker.
yeah.
And he said, I bet more.
Ooh,
He thinks they're all MAGA, right?
No, I don't know that they're MAGA. I think they all vote Republican.
I see. I see.
yeah.
Thank
I
you for
would,
clarifying.
I think that's probably on track. I started this show way before it was in the spotlight with MAGA and all of those things. So it was, I guess, interesting to see it all come to light. And then I think the general consensus is, yeah, that's probably true about this cast for the most part.
Orange County is mostly Republican anyways, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. I think so. Yeah. So thank you for the recap, Atul. Good
Thank you
job.
for the recap.
And Craig, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Uh, they all the blondes definitely blurred together for me. Heather, I think, stood out as the only brunette. But
Hmm.
then it feels like at the party, there's maybe other people who are also Real Housewives, but not this season, maybe, or they're just kind of adjacent, they're friends,
Yes.
or
That was that. Look at this perspective. I can't believe you got that. Yeah. Lizzie was a housewife from a previous season. And Gina Keogh, the one where they show a flashback of Tamra throwing wine in her face. She was one of the OGs. And that was maybe one of the first or the first housewives moment where it started to become like, let's throw wine on people's faces. Like that was the first like altercation in that way. Before it had just been kind of like suburban rich people living their lives going shopping. So, yeah.
And then when that happened, not to discuss the previous show, did one of those people get kicked off the show?
I know morally you want that to be true. And it's no, they did not. Uh of late though, the last couple years more and more people have been getting kicked off of these shows due to inappropriate
Woke
behavior.
culture.
Woke
Oh, I mean
culture.
inappropriate behavior.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Great. Anything else, Craig?
at some point we might have wine delivered, which feels like a very OC
Oh,
thing to do. So
oh,
I may have to leave to meet the UPS guy delivering our wine.
totally. Are you going to have to dinner with Terry and Heather Dubrow after this? You gonna have some wine? Oh,
Hopefully,
fingers
yes.
crossed.
I may throw a glass in Carla's face.
Please do.
That's the best pause ever.
Oh, so I'm curious. Well, I know, like, so over the years, Atul has been groaning from the other room whenever I have these shows on, or he'll shout comments because he'll hear absurd things and be like, what is happening? So he is sort of familiar with Housewives. Bravo. Craig, you've only been on this journey for about 6 months, living in a house with someone watching these things. Carla's told me a little bit about your reactions. So let's just get into your actual real thoughts. Or actually, Carla, do you want to say add anything? I definitely want to hear from you too.
Yeah, no. I'd love for Craig to talk about his real thoughts.
Great. Let's go.
As the kids say, I have never fucked with this IP before. So this is my first Housewives or Bravo show at all. I don't watch a lot of reality, period. Occasionally some reality competition, like I was very into Amazing Race and The Voice for years, but I don't currently watch either of those shows. But that's about it. I'm old enough to remember the original Real World, which kind of
Mm.
like coined the genre. And then I think occasionally like a housewife will like cross over enough into general pop culture that I'll recognize the name.
Mhm.
Or if there's, I don't know, around like 10, 15 years ago, when you're checking out the supermarket and you see, the trashy, impulse buy magazines, and I started to see headlines and it's like, Brianna and Brock splitting up. And it's like, who are those people? Like, am I, am I supposed to know them on a first name basis? So, um, so that's the extent that any of this has permeated my consciousness. I have a general idea of what the shows are, and this episode did not disappoint. I think it pretty much lived up to what I thought it would be.
Mhm.
It was nice that it ended on an upbeat note rather than a wine throwing of
Yeah.
two, adversaries maybe finding understanding. But it's a long season. Like this is a dense text, like 20 seasons of like 20 episodes each of like that. This is just the one franchise, right?
Yeah.
of OC. It's like 400 episodes.
Oh,
Like
too much.
I can't
It's
imagine.
too much or not enough. Come on. No, this is so funny because Carla, I don't know if you remember, but this is pretty much your initial reaction as well. The very
Oh, funny.
first time I had her watch
Yeah.
something from New York, you were like, I was like, okay, I'm 15. Wait, the show's still going? And how many seasons are there? And how many
Yeah.
franchises? Like, there's no way you could ever catch up, I think, at this point, and
No.
nor would you probably want to. So that's part of why we're doing this podcast because it's like overwhelming. Yeah, you're right. And this is
Yeah.
episode 2 of the season. So that reconciliation, we'll see. I don't
Yeah,
remember what
yeah. I
happens.
suspect
Yeah.
it's not going to take.
Yeah. As a writer,
Uh,
it's like that's too early. It's too early for them to
Craig
be.
was like, "Why do you think Robin picked this episode?" And I was like, "I'm not sure." And then as we were going through, I was like, "Oh, I think it's because Shannon is on here."
Mhm.
And we just watched Love Island or Love Island, Love
Yeah.
Hotel with Shannon. And then
Yes.
at the end, when they like the two friends came together, I was like, "Oh, maybe she also picked it to like end on a positive note, so you didn't feel too angry."
I'll be honest. So I had picked a different episode and it was the cake episode, which I really want to talk about so badly because it's amazing. Yet the whole episode, one, Shannon wasn't in it, and then when re-editing our last episode, I realized, Carla, we had just talked about Shannon so much, and it
Mm.
was like I promised you a Shannon episode, and also it was all fighting. It was pretty
Oh
funny,
yeah.
I have to say. But it was all fighting, and I know sometimes that is a little much. So I was just envisioning all of you watching it and just being like, "What?"
Who
So
are these awful people?
yeah,
Yeah, I think you made the right call.
so that's why. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Atul or Atul, you have over the years, one of my favorite things is he'll just get so confused by the people, much like you, Craig. He'll point to the screen and he'll be like, Shannon, Vicky, Tamara. Like 1 out of every 10, you get it right. And I'm always so happy when you do. And also then you're sad because you're like, I don't want to know any of these things. So your thoughts on your first full episode, forced to pay attention the whole time.
It was fine.
Okay, great.
Um, yeah, it seems like you needed more information for some of the arguments or some of the discussions, and it so you got like certain information. I'm not saying the editing is manipulative, but uh, it was sometimes like not enough detail. Like I mean, there's a part at the end of the party, and Heather walks in. I think it was Heather. I don't know. And literally before she walks in, somebody's like, "Where's Heather?" And on cue, she walks in, and I was like, "Is that exactly what happened?" But it doesn't matter. Um, yeah, like they flash back to things or they mention things that you can't really, you know, yeah, you can't really. It seems like it's one-sided. Then it's like, oh, okay, well then that person's wrong,
Mm.
and then you find out more. Um, like that final conversation, no one, I don't know what's happening there. They both seemed mad at the other. They hadn't seen each other in 6 months.
Mhm.
If I haven't seen somebody in 6 months, I'm trying to probably phase them out of my life. But hey, good on them.
I mean, they can't. That's the reality of the reality TV is you don't want to be friends with people and you have to for filming purposes. So I think that's 6 months is probably when they had the last reunion and then they were like, oh, we're filming again. Let's make up.
I have a question. How long is filming?
A couple months, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they do the reunion like towards the end of a season airing. So then they have to relive all the trauma and then start again.
Something Craig said was, well, I checked in and I was like, "How much do you love it?" And he said, "I don't know how much to believe." And then I said, "That's what I always say." And then he said, like, "Are any of them friends in real life or are they just cast members?"
Mhm.
And I think that's like a real issue for me to like truly be invested in it because I'm like, it feels produced. There was another moment where when what's her I have no idea who these people are, by the way. You guys are doing a great job at their names. No idea. No idea. Somebody was like, "Why can't your husband look me in the eye?" That part. And
Yes,
Craig
Vicky.
goes, "That's not a real interaction. That's something the show cooked up."
That felt so phony to me.
I thought that
Oh,
too. Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Like a
Yeah,
producer was like, "He's not looking you in the eye," like they're doing their little
right, right.
whatever.
Yeah, that was Vicky to David and Shannon. And it's so funny because I didn't think that at all. And yet I'm so much more invested in their lives. And to me, I was like, this is so real because look at the Shannon and David stuff. Like, I feel like it's like you can't really make that stuff up in terms of the emotion behind it and what she's going through. Yet I do agree, and Carla and I have talked about this, different franchises, some of them are really, really friends, and some of them are put together friends. So this one started with, it was cast, and Vicky was from day one on the show. So over time, then they added Tamara, and I think they are actually friends via the show over time,
Right.
like you kind of form that kind of a bond. So I do think they're friends, but then yeah, like Megan's new, obviously she doesn't know anybody. And I feel like they were trying to introduce this other girl that I don't remember ever. Maybe her name's Katie, the next door neighbor of Heather. And I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, that stuff feels very produced to me. Like, who is this
Yeah.
person? And obviously she did not take because I don't even remember who she is. But it felt like they were trying to introduce her or launch her into
Mm.
the show. Yeah.
In terms of how much it's produced, I wonder if it's like it's both, like
Mhm.
maybe they knew that whatever her name is had a problem with Shannon's husband
Mhm.
already. And
Right.
so then the producers are just pushing them in that direction. Sorry,
Yeah.
Abdul.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
think that's right.
Just needling. Yeah,
Yeah.
in that. So that's the production. So I think they cut to a confessional, and the one who was cheated on, which is
Shannon.
Shannon.
Shannon, says, "I told this person, and I'm not going to tell anybody else." But like, you have to be like, "Oh, but you're on TV telling us that you're
Yeah.
not going to tell anybody else," right? Like,
Yeah.
so everybody knows.
Mhm.
I'm glad their kids know. I mean, I wasn't glad. Like, first I was like, this young, I don't know if they can process. But I was like, I'm better than them finding out because of the TV show, and then
Right.
somebody throwing it in their face at school.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, how do you with the straight face say, I told anybody, but you're telling the entire
Right.
watching community?
Yeah, and that I think this is an older episode that has become part of the shows now is that if you say something on camera, that's such a thing and they'll talk about it. So they
Right.
acknowledge that
I was
now.
more aware on this episode than others of like, oh, they're holding stuff back from certain
Yes,
people, and then when it airs, they're gonna see it. Like I hadn't really
absolutely.
thought about that in depth before. Not that I
Yeah.
thought about it in depth, but I've thought about it more yesterday when we were watching. What were you gonna say, Craig? I felt you. I felt you want to speak.
Oh, well, not only did they tell the kids, but they have to film the dad's apology to them.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it also seemed like the girls kind of like enjoyed being a part of being on
Yep.
camera also.
Don't
Like,
you though, when you're that young, really
I
understand?
think if you
I
grow up in wealth in Orange County and like, and
Yeah.
everything's about,
Mhm.
narcissism and like thr putting yourself out there of like, that's the norm to
Yeah.
you of
Yeah.
like, uh, I mean, probably there was three girls, so probably varying degrees of,
Yeah.
it felt like the oldest one, at least got a little bit of like real, ambivalence about her dad into it, but
Yeah.
I don't
Mhm.
know. I asked like to what degree like those girls became part of the storyline in
Oh yeah.
subsequent
And
seasons.
I said I saw them this year on Love Hotel, the two of them
Oh, that's right. You
as
did.
adults now, or
That's
close to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. They did. And they were like, our moms had a hard time. We want her to find love. Yeah, that scene was tough to watch. This is for those of you listening. David tells the three daughters about his affair. And Craig, to your point, yeah, the younger two, I think I took it as like, because they were kind of giggling, and I was like, oh, they don't get what's happening. Like,
Yeah.
like it was hard to watch, I thought. I thought that was a very
And not you are the expert in this, so I don't want to. But he didn't tell them there about cheating. That
mm-mm.
was just the apology
The
part.
apology. Yeah.
Right.
So he has
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
told them, or somebody's told them about.
They
Yeah.
found the texts.
Right,
Oh,
the
that's
eldest
right.
found the text, and she found him whispering. Um, and I mean, she's been on the show for 10 years at that point, 8 years.
No, she was new. She had been on for maybe 2 or 3 seasons at that point.
I'm not saying you should cheat ever, but I feel like if your partner signs up for reality TV, it should be like, hey, listen, it's probably not going to happen.
Hey, listen, I'm cheating on you, so please don't air my
Right. Well,
description.
that's the thing that kind of blows my
Ugh, it's
mind. And
gross.
well, and I think that's part of the fascination with it. And it's not, Carla and I have talked before about like true crime and stuff like this. It's
Hmm.
like true adultery. Like these people, and to your point, Craig, like narcissists sign up for these shows. And then what do you think's gonna happen? Like you have to know that when you sign up, everything from your past is gonna come out. Like, and I
It's like
think,
being a politician.
yeah.
Once again, we're back to Trump, just saying he started on a reality TV show.
It's true. It all goes back to, yes. I knew this episode was gonna be.
One of
I'm
those
sorry, I can't
girls
hold
is going
back
to be
No,
anymore.
president.
I get it. No, it's a tough one. It's tough to one of those girls is gonna be president. It's tough to
Or his
it's
fourth wife.
yeah. Or it is tough to I don't yeah, you have to watch from a distance, I think, because of the politics of it all. You know what I mean? Like in terms of
Mhm.
if you're gonna watch, because it's, you know, maybe not the way we all feel. I want to hear from Carla because you met Shannon on Love Hotel and now you're seeing early Shannon. Any thoughts?
I had more, this gave me more context for like what she had been referencing as a divorced woman. Was this her most recent husband? No.
No, her most recent, they weren't married. It was very toxic, like very
Ugh.
toxic. Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
Which one's on Love Hotel?
Shannon, the one who they had the rest in peace couples counseling.
The cheating one. Okay.
Yes.
So she eventually moved past him. Then there was another dude, and now she's on Love
Love
Hotel.
Hotel. Yeah.
Copy. Thank you. Sorry. Go ahead, Carla.
no, no. Yeah, it was I really didn't like her in this episode. Now, I felt that way the first time I saw her in Love Hotel as well, and then she really grew on me. So I wonder if that would be true here too. And
Hmm.
why didn't I like her? I felt like it was kind of humiliating that she was going through this like very personal thing on camera. And I know that's the nature of the game. I know what I
Yeah.
signed up for. Like
Yeah.
that's what it is. But it doesn't make me like them, you know? It
Oh,
makes me
okay.
feel embarrassed for them and like, oh, have more respect for yourself.
Right.
Like that's a really huge I mean, I'm getting very serious and I know we're
Uh-huh.
trying to do comedy here, but it's a huge violation and it kind of made my stomach turn a little bit to watch her have to like dig through that with her husband. It just wasn't likable. I didn't like it. I didn't like
Yeah.
her,
It's
you
hard to
know.
watch. It's definitely hard to watch. I knew this episode would probably be a little more serious just given all of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay. It is hard to watch. Yeah, for me, it gave me more, I know it gave me more empathy because I was like, whoa, she went through all of this stuff and was trying to
Yeah.
keep her family together. Yet it's not fun to watch, so I can understand the, like, oh, I don't like this. I don't like this person, or I
I
don't like, yeah.
think the scene that made my skin crawl and made me feel more cringy than anything else was when she was telling him to come back and kiss her when he was trying
Oh,
to leave the room. Like
oh,
more than the like manufactured therapy and the manufactured apologies, like that moment was so cringy
yes.
and that felt very real actually to
I
me.
agree. That
Yeah,
felt
that was the most real moment.
so real. She's like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna give me a kiss," and then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, honey," and then came back and gave the most
Yeah.
awkward, like, "Let me give it to ya," and then
And you can
she's,
almost understand like why he maybe wasn't into her. You know what I mean?
Sorry,
Like,
Shannon.
if she acts like that, that's pretty, not that I'm
Yeah.
perfect, right? Right, honey?
I'll give you a kiss whenever you need one.
Aww.
I don't have to be told either.
Aw.
Oh, well, that's nice. Yeah, and I think you're right, Carla. That moment felt so real. And then when they were at Vicky's party, she also, and I know that would be very hard to be out in public knowing everyone's talking about you and the affair and all
Yeah.
that, and have Megan there, who's this gorgeous person. You don't know what happened with them. Yet she just like she goes
What's the
internal.
face? I'm sorry. What's the face that Atul is doing right
Yeah,
now?
what's his face?
Wait, the dude, the lady he cheated on with is Megan?
No, no, no,
Oh,
no. Remember they said we met at the hoedown. You met at the hoedown. We met at the they said
that's
it
one of
like
the best
20
lines.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they showed the extent of what happened,
Okay.
which is she ordered a drink and
Which was nothing. Yeah.
David said, "Do you want a drink, Megan?" And then Shannon off to the side. It was funny because the way it's like Vicky, David, and Megan standing, and then Shannon just like slides in with this cowboy hat on to the side and like lurking. She's like, "Who's this Megan? And can I get an introduction? Why is my husband talking to Megan?" And so she's having her own drama, and I don't
Yeah.
think anyone else knew what was happening. What is happening? Hi, everyone. It's Robin. We talked about the OC with Craig and Atul so much that this is a two-parter. That's right. There is an entire other episode coming your way where we finish this discussion. So be on the lookout for part 2 of this episode where we discuss OC and also Countess Luann's Money Can't Buy You class. We'll see you next time.